Modern food manufacturing is one of the most demanding industrial disciplines on the planet. The efficiency, the quality systems, and the technology at work inside of these discipline. This is the end result, a single frozen burger patty, uniform in weight, precise in dimension, safe in composition, and consistent with every patty produced on this line today, yesterday, and tomorrow. From raw beef arriving at the dock to a frozen packaged labeled pallet entering the finished goods freezer, the entire journey unfolds across this single facility, governed at every stage by controls that are precise, documented, and non-negotiable. Seen from above, the true scale of this operation becomes clear. Trucks arriving, trucks departing, refrigeration systems running, production lines moving, a facility that does not pause, does not slow, and does not simplify. Maintenance engineers maintain every machine in the facility to a schedule that anticipates failure before it occurs. Every tool used on food contact equipment is accounted for before and after the work is complete, because a missing tool is a potential contaminant. Quality assurance technicians are present on the production floor throughout every shift, not waiting for problems to be reported, but actively looking for them. Their ability to catch a deviation early is what keeps a small variation from becoming a significant issue. The workforce of a facility like this is its most important asset. Every operator, technician, and engineer is trained not only in the mechanics of their role, but in the food safety principles that underpin every action they take on the production floor. Energy efficiency is engineered into the fabric of the facility. LED lighting, heat recovery systems on refrigeration equipment, and intelligent building management systems reduce consumption without compromising the precision the operation demands. The refrigeration plant is the beating heart of the entire facility. Without it, nothing else functions. These industrial compressor systems maintain every cold room, every conveyor refrigerated corridor at the precise temperature required, around the clock. The facility's wastewater treatment infrastructure processes the significant volumes of water used in cleaning and sanitation, ensuring that what leaves the facility through the drainage system meets environmental discharge standards. Every outgoing waste stream is sealed, labeled, and documented. The same traceability discipline that governs the product governs the waste, because responsible manufacturing extends well beyond the finished goods door. Nothing leaves this facility without direction. Beef trim offcuts are redirected to approved rendering facilities, where they are converted into animal feed ingredients and industrial products. Environmental monitoring extends beyond the equipment surfaces. Walls, floors, drains, and non-product contact areas are swabbed on a regular schedule because bacteria do not limit themselves to food contact zones. Retained samples of every batch are stored in the laboratory's sample freezer, held under the same conditions as the shipped product. If a quality complaint ever arrives from the field, these samples allow a full retrospective investigation. Every batch produced during the shift is held in the system until all laboratory results are confirmed within specification. Only then, with every test result showing green, does the laboratory authorize the batch for shipment. Finished patties are also tested for fat content, moisture, protein, and salt, confirming that every batch meets the nutritional specification printed on the label and the quality standard expected by the customer. The incubator holds the samples at the precise temperature required for microbial growth to occur, allowing the laboratory to confirm, within the test window, whether the product is safe to release. Raw incoming beef is tested for E. coli, salmonella, and other microbiological indicators of concern. Each sample is prepared with the same precision as the production process itself, pipetted, plated, sealed, and incubated. Running parallel to all of the production activity is the in-house quality control laboratory, a facility where the science of food safety operates continuously, processing samples from every stage of the manufacturing process. Surface swabs taken from critical contact points are sent to the quality laboratory for microbiological analysis. They are the final verification that the sanitation program has achieved what it set out to achieve. After cleaning, a food-safe sanitizing solution is applied to every contact surface, systematically, methodically. Production cannot resume until the surface swab results confirm that microbial counts meet the required standard. Hot water at high pressure strips every trace of product residue from the forming machine's precision cavities, surfaces that will be sanitized again before the next shift begins. At the end of every production shift, the sanitation team takes over. Equipment is disassembled component by component, and every food contact surface is prepared for a deep clean that meets the most rigorous standards in the food industry. Hand hygiene is one of the most fundamental controls in the production environment. Sensor-activated taps, timed washing protocols, and calibrated sanitizer dispensers ensure the process is consistent for every worker, every time. Every person who enters a production area passes through a mandatory hygiene protocol: boot wash, hand wash, sanitizer application, and full facility clothing. No exceptions, no shortcuts, every single entry. Hygiene is not an afterthought in facilities like this. It is built into the physical design of every room. Smooth, non-porous surfaces, engineered drainage, and positive pressure air systems that push air outward rather than drawing contamination in. The trailer departs, carrying its frozen cargo into a refrigerated distribution network that will maintain the product at the required temperature all the way to its final destination, wherever that may be. Before any trailer departs, its internal temperature is verified and recorded. The The cold chain that has protected this product from the moment the beef arrived at the facility must remain unbroken all the way to its destination. At the loading dock, pre-cooled refrigerated trailers receive the outbound pallets in rapid succession. The loading process is designed to minimize the time the product spends outside the controlled freezer environment. When a shipment order is confirmed, the warehouse system identifies the correct pallets, generates pick instructions, and the retrieval process begins, swift, organized, and traceable at every step. The warehouse management system tracks every pallet in real time, its precise location within the freezer, its production date, and its designated destination. Stock rotation is managed digitally, with no room for human error. Inside the finished goods freezer, the scale of the operation becomes fully apparent. Row upon row of pallets, each one containing thousands of individually made, inspected, and packaged burger patties, waiting for their shipment order. The finished pallet enters the finished goods freezer, an enormous cold storage facility maintained at a constant -18 degrees Celsius, holding thousands of pallets in organized, numbered bays. A unique pallet identifier, barcode and QR code, is applied to every wrapped pallet. The moment it is scanned into the warehouse system, its identity, contents, and precise storage location are registered in the digital inventory. The completed pallet rotates through the stretch wrapping machine, multiple layers of film binding the entire load together, protecting it from shifting, moisture, and damage during the long journey through the cold chain. The vacuum gripper engages each carton cleanly, lifts it in a smooth arc, and places it with precision onto the growing pallet stack, a movement repeated hundreds of times per hour, with consistent accuracy. The robotic palletizing arm works without pause, placing carton after carton in a pre-programmed stacking pattern designed for structural stability and efficient use of space throughout the distribution chain. Every single carton passes over an automatic check weigher. An underweight case means product is missing. An overweight case signals an overportion condition. Either outcome diverts the carton off the line for immediate review. The label applied to each carton carries more than product information. The lot number printed on it links this carton and every patty inside it back to the specific batch of beef from which it was made. The filled carton passes through an automatic sealing machine, flaps folded and glued in one continuous mechanical movement, emerging sealed, square, and ready for labeling. Robotic case packing arms pick up each sealed primary pack and place it with precision into the open carton, layer by layer, pack by pack, in a pattern engineered for maximum stability during transport. Sealed primary packages move immediately to the secondary packaging stage, where they will be placed into corrugated shipping cartons, the outer layer of protection for the journey through the distribution network. The heat sealing jaws close in a fraction of a second, creating an airtight seal that protects the product from air exposure throughout storage and transit. Seal integrity is monitored continuously. A failed seal allows in air, and air causes freezer burn. Counted groups of frozen patty stacks are placed into primary packaging by the automated line. Polybags for food service accounts, vacuum-sealed trays, or flow-wrapped formats for retail distribution. The packaging area runs continuously alongside the forming and freezing lines. Every machine here is synchronized, in-feed rates, sealing cycles, and out-feed speeds coordinated into one seamless automated flow. The X-ray image is processed by a computer vision system in real time. Any anomaly, however small, triggers an automatic rejection before the affected product can reach the packaging stage. In addition to metal detection, X-ray inspection adds a further layer of protection, capable of identifying bone fragments, dense plastic pieces, and rubber contaminants that metal detectors alone cannot reliably find. The detector is tested every 30 minutes using certified metal test pieces of known size. If a test piece is not detected, production stops immediately until the issue is identified and resolved. Every single patty stack must pass through the metal detection checkpoint before it can enter the packaging area. This is not optional. It is a regulatory requirement applied to every unit without exception. At the tunnel exit, every patty stack must have reached a core temperature of -18 degrees Celsius or below. A calibrated probe confirms this before the product moves any further down the line. Individual quick freezing, IQF, forms only the smallest ice crystals inside the meat. Larger crystals, produced by slow freezing, damage cell structure and degrade texture. Here, the science of freezing is applied with precision. Inside the tunnel, temperatures fall to between -30 and -40 degrees Celsius. The belt carries the patties through at a speed calibrated to deliver the exact freezing time required. Not a second more, not a second less. The freezer tunnel entrance is where the product undergoes its most dramatic transformation. As the warm patties meet the extreme cold inside, vapor billows from the opening, a visible sign of the temperature differential at work. Each completed stack, paper separated, precisely counted, and perfectly aligned, moves steadily toward the entrance of the freezer tunnel, where temperature will drop to levels most environments never reach. The stacking mechanism accumulates the interleaved patties into neat, uniform columns, each stack containing a precise count of patties, ready to enter the freezer tunnel as a single, stable unit. A thin sheet of food-grade separator paper is placed between each patty by the interleaving machine, automatically, precisely, and in perfect synchronization with the speed of the forming line. From the forming machine, each patty travels directly into the interleaving station, a critical step that prevents the patties from fusing together during the freezing process ahead. The forming machine is calibrated to deliver a patty accurate to within a single gram. If the average weight begins to drift, the machine's settings are adjusted immediately, mid-production, without stopping the line. Every few minutes, a quality assurance technician pulls samples from the line and places them on a precision scale. The weight of each patty is recorded and compared against the target specification in real time. From above, the output of the forming machine is hypnotic, an unbroken stream of perfectly shaped patties, uniform in every dimension, moving in a continuous flow toward the next station. In a fraction of a second, the forming press compresses the beef into a perfect circle, then releases the finished patty onto the conveyor below and immediately cycles to form the next one. The seasoned beef is loaded into the forming machine's hopper, where it is distributed under pressure into the cavity below, ready to be shaped into a precise, uniform patty. The forming room is one of the most visually striking areas of the entire facility. Multiple high-speed forming machines running in parallel, producing thousands of patties every hour. The trolley moves directly toward the forming room, the next stage in the process and the point where the ground beef will take its final, recognizable shape. Once mixing is complete, the seasoned blend is transferred immediately into refrigerated stainless steel trolleys. No product rests in the mixing room a moment longer than necessary. Inside the mixing drum, the blades fold the seasoning through the beef with measured, deliberate rotations. Overmixing raises the meat's temperature and damages texture, so the machine is programmed to stop at exactly the right point. Salt, pepper, and approved flavoring agents fall in a precise, unbroken stream into the rotating beef below. Uniformity in seasoning is not estimated, it is engineered. At the mixing station, seasoning is introduced through calibrated dispensing systems, the quantity controlled to within fractions of a gram per kilogram of beef, ensuring every patty tastes exactly the same. The blended ground beef travels through an enclosed, refrigerated conveyor system directly to the mixing station, protected from open air at every point along the way. Mounted directly in the production line, a near-infrared fat analyzer measures the fat content of the meat stream in real time, allowing operators to adjust the blend instantly if the reading drifts outside specification. A second pass through the fine grinder delivers the smooth, uniform texture required in a finished burger patty, consistent in every gram, from the first batch of the shift to the last. The first pass through the grinder produces a coarse grind, breaking down the larger pieces while preserving the cold temperature of the meat. Speed and temperature control work together at every moment. The primary grinder is one of the most powerful machines in the facility, capable of processing hundreds of kilograms of beef per hour, operating continuously throughout the entire production shift. Lean trim and fatty trim are kept in separate coated bins and weighed carefully. They will be combined later in exact proportions, the precise fat to lean ratio defined by the product recipe. The trimmer's role is precise and skilled. Excess fat, sinew, and connective tissue are removed, but not all fat. The right amount is essential for flavor, moisture, and texture in the finished patty. Each primal cut is placed on the workstation, the vacuum seal carefully opened, and the meat examined before trimming begins. The cold temperature of the room keeps the beef firm and safe throughout. The preparation room is where transformation begins. Workers in full protective equipment, chainmail gloves, cut-resistant aprons, and hard hats, take their positions at stainless steel workstations. The temperature inside this room is monitored continuously. Even a small deviation triggers an immediate review, because at this stage, precision is everything. The holding room maintains a temperature between 0 and 2 degrees Celsius. Pallets rotate strictly on a first-in, first-out basis. Freshness is not left to chance. Once cleared, the beef moves through the facility's refrigerated corridors toward the holding room, the first controlled environment in a long chain of precisely managed steps. Every box carries a label encoding its origin farm, processing date, lot number, and cut type, data that is scanned directly into the facility's traceability system the moment it arrives. The very first check is temperature. Every delivery must arrive within a precise cold threshold, and a calibrated probe confirms compliance before a single box is unloaded. Inside each trailer, large vacuum-sealed primal beef cuts, chuck, round, and sirloin, are stacked on pallets and held at strictly controlled temperatures throughout the journey. Before the first machine is switched on, the operation has already begun. Refrigerated trucks arriving in sequence at the loading dock in the pre-dawn hours. Every single day, hidden from public view, a facility of extraordinary scale quietly produces millions of burger patties. And today, we go inside.